It was just another Wednesday morning at Crestwood High, but for Serenity Miles, it felt like walking into a storm. The halls buzzed with chatter, lockers slammed, and students moved like waves crashing on the shore. Serenity clutched her backpack tighter, her eyes scanning the faces that often turned mocking when they landed on her. She wasn't like the other girls, at least that's what they always told her. She was quieter, sharper, and her father? A mystery to most. "Yo, Serenity, you bring your imaginary friends today?" A voice called out from behind. She turned slowly. It was Logan Briggs and his crew, standing by the vending machine, grinning like jackals. "Nope," she replied coolly. "Did you finally bring a brain today?" His smile faltered, and a few students nearby chuckled. But Logan wasn't done. "Tell us again, Serenity. What does your dad do? You said he's what? Some top-secret super soldier?" he mocked, voice dripping with sarcasm. Serenity clenched her jaw. "He's a highly trained operative. He's done things you couldn't imagine in your wildest video game." The hallway erupted in laughter. One girl even pretended to faint from laughing. Serenity walked away, holding her head high, but her hands were shaking. Not because she was afraid, because she was tired. Tired of no one believing her. She sat through math class in silence. Mr. Jacobs droned on about algebraic expressions, but her mind drifted to memories of her dad teaching her how to hold her breath underwater, how to spot danger from subtle movements, how to be invisible in a crowd. "Serenity," Mr. Jacobs called. "Can you answer problem 3? She blinked back to the present and read the equation. In seconds, she solved it and explained her steps clearly. The class went quiet. Even Mr. Jacobs looked impressed. But before she could feel proud, Logan muttered, "Wow, math genius with a superhero dad. Someone call Hollywood." Serenity ignored him. She had learned to choose her battles, but what she didn't know was her father was already on his way back to town. And someone had just crossed a line they shouldn't have. Later that day, after the final bell rang, Serenity took the long way home. She didn't feel like facing anyone, not even her mom. The streets of Crestwood were quiet, bathed in the golden haze of late afternoon. She walked slowly, earbuds in, pretending the world didn't exist. As she turned the corner near Miller's Deli, a black SUV pulled up beside her. The windows were tinted, but she recognized the sound of the engine. The passenger window rolled down. "Get in, sir," the deep voice said. Her heart skipped. She hadn't heard that voice in months. "Dad?" "Come on," he said with a nod. "We need to talk." She climbed in, clutching her backpack like a shield. The inside of the vehicle smelled like leather and pine. He looked different, more tired, more alert, but still powerful. "What are you doing here?" she asked. "Aren't you supposed to be overseas?" "I was," he said. "But your mom called. She said something happened at school." Serenity looked away. "It's nothing, just some jerks being jerks." Her father's knuckles tightened on the steering wheel. "What did they say?" "They think you're fake, that I made you up." She laughed bitterly. "Said you were some imaginary G.I. Joe." He didn't laugh. His voice was calm, but sharp. "And what did you tell them?" "I told them the truth, that you're Delta, that you've led missions no one talks about." He nodded slowly. "Good. Never be ashamed of who you are, or where you come from." They drove in silence for a while. Then he said, "There's something else." We intercepted chatter. "There's a name I haven't heard in years." She glanced at him. "You mean?" "Juno." Serenity's stomach sank. She'd only heard that name once, It came with fire, blood, and nightmares. He's resurfaced, and he's here, in this town. What does he want? Her father's eyes narrowed. I don't know. But if he's here, then we're all in danger. And I need you to be ready. The next morning, Serenity walked into school with a sense of unease. The air felt thick, like the calm before a storm. She knew something was coming, something bigger than the petty taunts of her classmates. As she passed the lockers, she heard whispers. Did you hear? Serenity's dad is really Delta. She wasn't lying. Serenity froze for a moment but kept walking, ignoring the murmurs. She wasn't ready to confront anyone yet. In the cafeteria, a group of popular kids were sitting at a table, and one of them, Drew, looked over at Serenity with a smirk. So, your dad's a real soldier, huh? Pretty impressive, he said, his voice laced with sarcasm. Serenity met his gaze without flinching. I told you the truth, Drew. Maybe that's the problem. Drew leaned back in his chair, eyes narrowing. Don't get too cocky, girl. We still don't believe you. Just then, the doors to the cafeteria slammed open, and two tall, imposing figures walked in. Everyone stopped talking, their eyes drawn to the newcomers. Serenity's heart skipped a beat. She recognized them immediately. Two members of the elite security team her father worked with, tall, strong, and dressed in black tactical gear. They looked like they could have stepped out of a military training camp. Drew's face went pale, and the chatter in the cafeteria died down. One of the men scanned the room, his eyes locking onto Serenity. The other man stepped forward, his voice low but clear. Serenity Williams, he said, his eyes never leaving her. We need to talk. Now. Serenity stood up slowly, her heart pounding in her chest. The room was completely silent now. Everyone was watching, waiting for her response. What's going on? Drew whispered to his friends, but no one had an answer. Serenity walked towards the two men, her steps deliberate. She felt a strange mixture of fear and pride. This was her world, the world her father had built, one she had only caught glimpses of. As she approached them, the man who had spoken first nodded slightly. Your father sent us, he said, voice still cold. There's something going on here, something dangerous, and we need your help. Serenity swallowed hard, her mind racing. Help? How can I help? The man's gaze softened slightly. You're not just any ordinary girl, Serenity. You've got the strength to make a difference. Your father wouldn't have sent us if he didn't believe that. Serenity hesitated for a moment, her mind racing. She had no idea what they were talking about. The strength they spoke of. What did it mean? And why did her father send them? The man with the cold voice stepped forward, his gaze unwavering. This isn't just about your father's past. There's something bigger happening here. And you, Serenity, you're connected to it. Serenity blinked, the weight of his words settling in. She looked around the cafeteria, realizing that everyone was staring at her. The whispers had stopped, but the eyes remained. Connected to it? Serenity asked, her voice trembling despite herself. What do you mean? What's going on? The man's expression hardened again. There are people after your father's work. People who would stop at nothing to get what he knows. And now, they're coming for you. Serenity felt a chill run down her spine. Why me? Why are they after me? The man didn't answer immediately. Instead, he glanced at his partner, who gave a subtle nod. Then, he turned back to Serenity. It's your bloodline, Serenity. Your father's connections. They want to control that. Control you. Serenity was still processing the words when she heard a voice call out from the back of the cafeteria. "Hey, what's going on?" It was Drew, trying to act tough but clearly nervous. The two men turned their heads sharply, their expressions unreadable. "This doesn't concern you," the first man said, his tone cold and final. Drew stepped back, hands raised in mock surrender. "Just askin'. No need to get all weird about it." Serenity turned back to the men, her heart racing. "What do I need to do? How can I help?" The man with the cold voice took a deep breath, as if choosing his words carefully. "We need to get you to a safe place. Your father has hidden something important, something that can change everything. You're the key, Serenity." Serenity's mind spun. A key? What could she possibly have that was so important? Before she could say anything, the door to the cafeteria burst open again. This time, a man in a sharp suit stepped inside, his eyes scanning the room with calculated precision. Serenity's stomach dropped. She knew immediately that this man was trouble. The two men immediately tensed, exchanging a quick glance. "We've got to go, now," the cold-voiced man said urgently, turning toward Serenity. "Stay close to us." Serenity barely had time to respond before the men began leading her out of the cafeteria. Drew and the others watched, confusion and curiosity written all over their faces. Serenity's heart was pounding in her chest as they rushed through the halls. Her mind was racing with questions. Who was that man in the suit? What did he want with her? And what did all of this have to do with her father? The cold-voiced man kept his pace steady, his eyes scanning every corner. "Stay alert," he muttered under his breath. "We don't have much time." Serenity didn't have a chance to ask more questions before they were out of the building and into a waiting car. The men flanked her on either side, silent and watchful. The car sped through the streets, cutting through the city with swift precision. Serenity's grip on the seat tightened as the realization hit her. She was in real danger. "Where are we going?" Serenity asked, her voice trembling. She had to know. She couldn't just sit in the dark any longer. The man with the cold voice turned his head slightly, his expression still unreadable. "Somewhere safe. We'll explain everything when we get there." Serenity wanted to argue, to push for more answers, but something about the way they spoke kept her silent. The urgency in their voices was palpable. The car turned down a narrow street and stopped in front of an old, nondescript building. It looked abandoned, as if no one had used it in years. "This is it," the cold-voiced man said, his eyes scanning the surroundings before he stepped out. "Stay close." Serenity hesitated for a moment, looking at the building with unease. But there was no turning back now. She stepped out of the car, feeling the weight of everything on her shoulders. The men led her inside, through a dimly lit corridor and into a small, secure room. It was empty except for a few chairs and a table. The door shut behind them with a heavy thud. "Sit," the man with the cold voice instructed. Serenity sat, feeling the tension in the air. "We don't have much time, so listen carefully." The other man, who had been silent until now, stepped forward. "We're part of a group that's been monitoring your father's work for years. His research, his connections. They've become a target for some very dangerous people." Serenity's eyes widened. "What do you mean by dangerous people?" "People who will stop at nothing to get what your father knows. And now, they're after you, because you're the key to everything." Serenity's mind was racing, but she tried to stay calm. I don't understand. Why me? Why am I so important? The man sighed, his eyes softening for the first time. Because of your father's work. It's more powerful than you can imagine, Serenity. And it's something that could change the world. Serenity felt a shiver run down her spine. The weight of what they were saying was almost too much to bear. But she had to know. She had to understand. What do I need to do? She asked, her voice steady despite the fear creeping in. Serenity's heart skipped a beat. The weight of the words hung in the air like a heavy cloud. Change the world? Was her father really that important? I still don't understand, Serenity whispered, her voice trembling. What exactly did he do? The cold-voiced man stepped closer, his face hardening. Your father was working on a project, Serenity. A project that could alter the balance of power in this world. He made discoveries that some very dangerous people want to control. Serenity's mind was spinning. She couldn't process everything fast enough. So, these people, they want to kill him. The man looked at her, his eyes cold but filled with a flicker of sympathy. They'll do more than that. They want to erase everything he's worked for. And if they can't get to him, they'll come after anyone who knows anything. Serenity felt a chill creep up her spine. She could feel the gravity of the situation pressing down on her. The danger wasn't just theoretical anymore. It was real. The silence in the room was suffocating, and Serenity found herself struggling to breathe. But why me? I'm just his daughter. The man leaned forward, his face softening slightly. Because you're the only one left, Serenity. The only one who can stop them. Your father trusted you more than anyone. He left a message for you, a clue hidden in plain sight. Serenity's head was spinning, trying to grasp what he was saying. A message? A clue? The man nodded. Yes, but it's not something you'll find easily. It's hidden in your father's work. You've already seen it. It's in your hands, Serenity. Serenity felt a sense of panic rising inside her. But how? What am I supposed to do with it? The cold-voiced man took a deep breath and then spoke slowly. Your father worked on a series of documents, encrypted files. He made a backup, a key to unlock everything. But only you know where it is. Only you can access it. Serenity's pulse quickened. Her mind was racing, but there was one question she had to ask. Where is it? The man's eyes narrowed, his expression serious. It's hidden in plain sight, Serenity. You've already seen it. You just need to open your eyes. Serenity blinked, trying to make sense of it all. But I don't understand. What am I looking for? The answer is closer than you think, the man replied cryptically. But time is running out. You have to find it before they do. Serenity felt her stomach drop. She was overwhelmed, but she knew one thing for sure. She was running out of time. Serenity stood there, frozen. The weight of the truth was more than she could carry alone. The mission ahead was clear, but the path wasn't. She didn't know who to trust or how to begin. But one thing was certain. She couldn't stop now. With determination in her eyes, Serenity knew this wasn't just about saving her father anymore. It was about protecting the world he had worked so hard to change. And she would be the one to make sure his legacy lived on. She took one last look at the man who had set her on this path, a silent promise between them. The journey ahead would be treacherous, but Serenity was ready. If you enjoyed this journey and want to see how Serenity's story unfolds, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss the next chapter. Share with your friends and help spread the word. Stay tuned for the next part.